Hi, Dinesh. Thanks for taking a few moments away from the floor of the North America Climate Summit of IETA in 2023 to join us here on Smarter Markets.
Thank you so much, Dave, for the opportunity. And likewise, nice meeting you.
Great to meet you. And I wanted to ask you, could you tell us a little bit about your company and how carbon markets do or don't fit into your strategy for getting to net zero?
Yeah, that's a great start to ask in terms of what we are doing. So the Climate Action Data Trust is the name of the company which I'm leading as an executive director. And this is first of its kind in terms of the kind of how the ownership of the company is. It's basically set up by the World Bank, the Government of Singapore, and IETA. For the first time, such a kind of a consortium has come together to launch this initiative. And that tells you about how serious these guys are in terms of promoting the much needed need for the transparency, the environmental integrity, and increasing the confidence in the carbon markets. So the Climate Action Data Trust, short CAT Trust, kind of tries to achieve and enable to achieve the much needed transparency in terms of double counting, how to avoid that, and then take it forward to operationalize the Article 6 under the UNFCCC Paris Agreement, and also help the countries to come together in terms of supporting the data transparency, and also help them operationalize the Article 6 in terms of having seamless transaction. So CATRAS, in short, is a kind of a metadata layer that tries to connect all the registries across the world, independent registries and national registries alike, and then give the stakeholders a kind of a comprehensive access at one place so that they can access the data and then try to get benefits in terms of providing the value-added services to the market. So that's how it is set up. So the need, if you ask me why, CATRAS is basically is to provide all this information at one place, which is not available right now. And the individual stakeholders and the service layer are kind of visiting individual registries to gather the data. And that's how the CATRAS comes into place to provide this as a public good for the digital infrastructure.
So unlike a lot of the companies that are here that are trying to use markets in order to meet their climate action goals, you're creating the market infrastructure that allows companies, that allows that market to be built. And as you said, you're operating what will be a global registry, if I understand you correctly. So where the ledger for where carbon credit trading gets recorded from moving from one country to another, the credit for a quality project, or from one company to another. Is that right?
Yeah, precisely. It's kind of leveraging the digital phase of the whole technology development that is happening now. So the whole carbon market is transforming into digital aspects. So why not use that as a tool and provide the solutions to the market so that the kind of distributed ledger, the usual benefits of blockchain in terms of being transparent, in terms of being public, open source, and secure. So that's the kind of a technology that we are leveraging to bring the market together so that, as I mentioned to you earlier, the kind of confidence grows up and then the market also sees more innovative solutions in terms of scaling investments to achieve the higher ambition of the climate goals.
And this year has clearly been a pivotal year in the carbon markets. On the compliance side, which you mentioned, the Article 6 and the Paris Agreement type markets being pushed forward to operationalize. On the voluntary carbon market side, we've had a lot of challenges in terms of assaults in the media on their reputation and challenges to them growing. How does that affect what you're doing at Climate Action Data Trust? How is what's happening over this year accelerating or causing you to rethink and course correct?
Yeah, I would say that that's a kind of a exact situation where the CATRAS is trying to address it by providing the avenue or the kind of a venue for solutions-oriented process. In one aspect, as I mentioned to you earlier, in terms of the transparency, in terms of the environmental integrity, which is being now questioned a lot in the independent market, what we are trying to do is to provide an opportunity for the stakeholders to check for themselves in terms of understanding the whole flow of data from all these registries which are hosting the carbon credits from various projects across the world. And that access would answer this question in terms of how you're feeling comfortable and how you're feeling confident and how you're feeling happy to see all that data becoming more transparent available at one place, though the market is fragmented, but you have a chance to see how this decentralized market is looking at one marketplace where you get all the data and try to make it more useful to address the current situation. So I would say that the need for us to further accelerate our presence has become the priority rather than the reverse, what you mentioned. And moving forward, we would like to bring that to the countries, the nations, where their registry operations would also further contribute to the much needed transparency and the environmental integrity.
And transparency is a word we've certainly heard a lot this morning of what people want in the market is transparency, and for understanding of like what a particular credit is and what it does, and does what it does match what it's told to do. And I wanted to ask you, at these conferences, it's also, it's a great opportunity to hear people speak. It's a great opportunity to engage with the rest of the industry, with the rest of the folks concerned about carbon markets and climate action. And I wanted to ask you, are there certain ideas you wanted to bring to share at the conference this year? And are there any ideas you've heard so far that you want to take back with you?
Yeah, that's a great question, I would say, because the kind of technology, leveraging the technology has been the message, I would say. And the digital guru is a kind of the blockchain. And therefore, we as a company see a lot of discussions moving around how we can leverage the technology and the solutions and the tools that are available in this space. Because the kind of transformation that is happening in the carbon market, and especially addressing, again, those two keywords, transparency and environmental integrity, the digitization or the digitalization, whatever way you want to call it, is going to be the kind of the next level of addressing these challenges and complexities. I'm not saying that is the only solution, but at least there is an opportunity to use it, to embrace it, and then see how the climate action and the investments that are going to happen and how the projects are basically generating the carbon credits. How do you see the whole visibility of the project activity cycle and how transparent the pricing is in terms of how the pricing of carbon credits is. So therefore, that is a kind of a message I'm kind of reinforced when I come to these conferences. All the conferences this year, all these months this year has always focused on something that would like to leverage the technology. And I believe digitization or the digitalization is going to be the way forward. And that's a message I have seen in this conference as well. And more towards also the kind of digital MRV, which is the monitoring, reporting, and verification. That's the next piece after what I mentioned about what we are trying to do. And that aspect is also becoming very sharp and focused in terms of how the project developers can use the DMRV, in short, the technologies that are being offered by various private sector.
And I'm going to be asking many of the folks who join us for these mini interviews, what are the standards, tools, and technologies that they believe need to be developed next to make net zero possible? You've already talked a lot on the technology and tools, so maybe I'll change that question a little bit, and you can take it either direction. One is there something you need to happen in the market with standards or other technology or other tools to make your technology and tools work better? Or is there something that folks who don't really understand distributed ledger, blockchain, digitization, why is that technology so uniquely well suited to what we need in the carbon markets?
Yeah, but I could take the question in two ways as well. One is on the digitalization. Of course, the kind of blockchain, understanding the blockchain is a bit different for different sets of stakeholders, especially the governments always relate blockchain to crypto, and therefore we have to explain to them in terms of the ultimate objectives of the blockchain as an application rather than doing crypto trading or using bitcoins, etc. So I think that kind of a capacity building is what we are talking about in terms of increasing the understanding of how blockchain can help and then can also kind of enhance the way that they're operating and their efficiency in the most cost-effective manner. That's number one. In terms of the other aspect, if I take the cue from your question, each and every country are now increasingly announcing the white list of the technologies, the real clean energy, the mitigation technologies that they would like to support under the Article 6. And that enables the developed countries to see how they can support such developing countries which have a clear roadmap in terms of what they want to do under the new SDM, which is a Sustainable Development Mechanism. So I'm taking two parts actually. So on our side, yes, we are promoting blockchain. We are giving the examples, the use cases, how the digitization blockchain can help achieve in a faster and a cost-effective manner. And on the other hand, we would like to portray, demonstrate, disseminate the best practices on various technologies that the developing countries are looking forward, for example, hydrogen or electric vehicles, and how the developed nations can then take an easy way because they know exactly what the developing country needs. And that kind of a matchmaking results in a higher climate investment and then also contribute to the higher ambition in terms of reducing the greenhouse gas emissions.
It's all about the investment and the ambitions. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank
Great
you
to
so
see
much.
you.
Thank you so much.